Hello, hello. Please let me know if the mic is too loud or not. Hope everyone's having a good Saturday. Oh, that's good. Thank you, Diginanigans. Welcome in. Now you have a voice to associate with the name. Hope everything's going well. Let's see here. Oh, the music. Whoops. I meant to have music going while the first screen was on. The music sound alright? Hello, Arneo. So it's a rainy Saturday for you too, huh? I'm getting a lot of wind and rain here. Okay, I can try turning it up a bit. How's that? I don't want to make it too loud. It should be going to stream. Okay. Okay. Sounds good. I'll turn it up a little bit more. How's that? I just don't want it overpowering everything, you know? There we go. Okay. Thank you, Arnie. Hard to tell on my end, you know? I'll get the hang of it at some point. Okay. Basically, all I plan on doing is trying to write down the idea I have for a very ambitious game. It'd definitely be a long-term project. But let's see here. Now the question is, where do I start trying to explain the idea? I think I got everything going. Oh yeah, no problem, Arneo. Feel free to go. Not a problem at all. I'm gonna be very awkward. Let's see. Idea. Let's start with that, I guess. Guess I should have had more of a plan on how to start at least, huh? But if I try not thinking about it too much, because if I did, I would never have started. I'm just glad I got the audio to a state where I'm not cringing at my own voice. I've never liked to hear my own voice. If I'm ever talking too quickly or anything, please let me know to slow down. I'm honestly kind of surprised I got myself worked up enough to actually start this. Okay. So, the idea for the game I had is, as I said a moment ago, very ambitious. It's gonna be a very long-term project. Yeah, I've never liked my own voice, but I got it to a state where I'm not constantly cringing, at least. I'll have to get used to it. I'm hoping to do like one stream a week at the very least, maybe more throughout the week, but we'll see how today goes and go from there. But my idea was for the game would be a bit of a cross between game Space Engineers and like Factorio, have elements of both of those. More try have a 3D game if I can, but be kind of, where do I start? I've always struggled to get ideas out of my head onto paper or even to vocalize the ideas. It's like I can visualize it in my head, but it's always been a struggle. So I got like the whole thing swarming through my head, but where to start to actually explain it is rough. I want it to kind of be an engineering focused game in a sense, where you're actually using parts to build up everything. It'd be more space focused, and I gotta turn it down my end. There we go. Be more of a space-focused game where you're building spaceships and flying them around, gathering resources and whatnot. But you can build like every portion of it. Wouldn't be predetermined. Like you're not buying a shell of a spaceship and just adding components onto it. Kind of like how it'd be kind of like Space Engineers in the sense that you're building it from scratch. If that makes sense. But I also want elements of automation, kind of like Factorio. But I also want there to be multiple levels of complexity, I guess, or almost like three somewhat distinct views in a way. Is the game related to you mentioned to me earlier? No, this is actually a different game idea overall, but it'll kind of have elements of that game, but fundamentally would have a different focus to it. Because like I want it to be where you kind of have control over every part. Like, as I was going to say, I want almost three different view levels in a way. I have to figure out how to better explain this, but like the level of the specific hardware, like the pipes, the gears, the electrical components, electronics, and then there would be the view where you're like building all that from the ground up. Then there can be the view of just a normal, like, first-person view open world game, and then there would be an overview kind of where you can manage your fleets of multiple different ships and everything. So like three distinct views depending on the play style that you like. Like if you don't, and my idea is that if you don't like the engineering side, if you don't want to build stuff up from scratch, there will be like pre-built stuff. Yes, very, very ambitious and long term. I don't know how well this will work out, but I'm planning the thought I'm having is I can make almost like a tech demo, like a very small scale version of this, to see how well it'd work if I can make the systems. But there would be stuff like you could hire out the management of your fleets. You can like hire a manager if you don't want to deal with managing fleets of ships. You can buy pre-built computers, or you can build computers from scrap components. You can buy pre-built parts of ships. You don't have to design them. Like, it'd be up to you what you want to do. So that's kind of the elevator pitch, I guess. A quick idea. Don't know how feasible it would be, but why not at least start giving it a shot? Guess I probably should have been typing that out while I was talking. Multitasking. Or lack of, that is. But yeah, feel free to ask any questions. It's the best way I can think of that I'll be able to explain things. Okay, that is... yeah, that's a good idea, Arneo. I mean, I'm kind of going to be trying to do multiple things just to get the idea out of my head onto a page. Somehow. I do also have my drawing tablet here, so I can try... sorry for the flashbang. Dark mode. There we go. So I can draw out, illustrate anything I need to. So I got that, which will help a little bit, I think. Yeah, I have given a little bit of thought on how I would be able to make the individual systems as well. Not a ton, though. Not a ton that I need to, but that's kind of why I've started the streaming. Or at least try to. Give me accountability to keep on going on any projects of mine. Whereas if I'm just left up to doing it on my own, it will die early. Sorry, I don't have any kind of camera yet or anything. I do, if I keep up on streaming like this, I do plan on getting a camera at some point. But right now, I'll just be a disembodied voice. Yeah, Diginagons, that's kind of the idea I'm having. It's just, I gotta form the right words to at least put down so it makes sense. So that's it. I've always liked the idea of Obsidian. I haven't used it too much, so I gotta learn about Obsidian. So bear with me here. So that's your game inspirations. Like how there? Oh, heading. Ah, right. Poundables. Okay. Inspirations. Bullet list. Factorio. Space engineers. And even a little bit of a game called Magnum Opus, which I haven't actually played yet, but I want to. I've seen a lot of videos and whatnot about it, and it seems right up my alley. Really? You're building your own obsidian, I think. Cool. At one point, I was kind of building my own note-taking thing in Godot, but that died early because it was just left up to me, which was not a good idea. So far, it looks like everything on the stream is being stable. I am unsure of how well the internet will do. So if anything's going wrong, please let me know. Well, we'll see. I can upgrade the internet if I need to, but I don't know if I'll need to or not. Okay, glad to hear it. It's and another game I've only played a little bit of, but kind of want to play more. But Foundation X4, I think it was called. Let me check Steam here. Make sure I get the name right. Hate to be putting the wrong name down. Yep, X4 Foundations. I had it backwards. Okay. X4 Foundations. Like, oh yeah, Space Engineers is great. I haven't played it. I want to play it more. I've played way more Factorio than anything else. But I love Space Engineers. The inspiration from X4 Foundations is this idea of having both the first person, like you're the one flying the ship and walking around and everything, but then also having the fleet management side of things where you're more of a manager. And then automation stuff like Factorio, but I also want to be able to go into a deeper level than Factorio in the sense that you're building the machines that do the automation as well. Whereas with Factorio, you're just putting ingredients in a machine and it builds the stuff. I also want it to where you have to build the machines. Kind of like how you place buildings down in Factorio. And like, I also want there to be a level of where you can write your own code for any of the machines. There'll be an operating system in your ship and you can write custom code for it. Or if you don't want to do that, you can buy software. So, like pretty much any level of granularity that you want. Go from all the way from fleet management in a map view all the way down to individual wires. Like I think it has. I feel like it has. What's the word? I can't think of the word. It's like has good opportunity to become a good game. It'll just take a lot of work. At the very least, it could be a good tech demo if I can get it working. Yeah, like please. Oops. Game where you can do. I got to type out basically what I was just saying. I really should have been typing out while I was saying it. Talking while typing is not easy. to that doesn't sound right. This is what I say when I say I struggle to write things down. I just don't even know where to start, how to organize it. I love all sorts of note-taking software, organization software, but I never am able to use any of them. Primarily made up of 3 views. The low level view, the personal level, and the high level. I guess that'll work for the moment. I think it will kind of be voxel based. I think that's the only way I could think of making it somewhat feasible, kind of like how Space Engineers is. But yeah, it'll basically be a soundbox game overall. Like, there won't be a specific goal. I kind of think there might be like user-generated scenarios. Some scenarios would be built in, of course, but then it can also be put like on Steam Workshop or something and have different starts and maybe some goals with those too. But I'm kind of leaning towards voxel based because that's probably the only way I'll really be able to do it. Well, we'll have to see about that. I mean, it is very weird not responding to you by texting in the chat. So used to that, I automatically want to just start typing in the chat. Low level consists of the bare hardware and software, handling the raw mechanics of the machines. Yeah, that's kind of as far as I've gotten as well, Arneo. I've only gotten a ship up there and hadn't done much after that. Format. So, the personal level. First person view of the game. First person view of the game. Well, this is your character. The high level is the manage. It's a fleet management version of game. Probably done mostly through some sort of map. There we go. That's a start. Oh, my spelling is awful. Let's see here. I do want the game to also be procedurally generated. So, like, basically, I'm planning on making the game in a way where I'm mostly just making the systems and tools that then they make the system and tools build the game, in a sense. So I kind of want to be procedurally generated, and kind of like how No Man's Sky, I guess. But so it's not the same every time. No Man's Sky. So like there are elements of the game that I was starting a while ago, in the sense that it'd be procedurally generated, randomly generated, whatever you want to call it. Oh wow, it's already been a half hour? Ugh. What else? How else? The player will get to decide what they really want to do in the game. Is it primarily the sandbox game? They want to have to handle on the game. Building a ship from scratch would not be required, but would be possible. Anything the player would not want to do could either be purchased and or hired out. Yes, I do plan on trying to do it in Godot, if possible. I mean, of course, why wouldn't it be Godot? No, I'll admit I do have my worries on how well Godot would be able to handle this, but I have my worries on how well anything would be able to handle this, honestly. Though I am not opening Godot today, this is just writing down the idea. Oh, feel free to ask a million questions. That's the only way I'm going to be able to explain the idea very well, honestly. That's the tool I'm going to start with. Oh, I'm honestly not sure yet. So I feel like the part I want to nail down is building a ship from scratch, from the individual components, like all the way down to individual pipes and gears and belts, that kind of thing, individual wires. So that might be what I have to start with, because that'll kind of be the base of everything. Like it'll determine how your ship works, how your ship would run, which then determines how well you can fly it, which then also determines how well you can command a fleet. Like I feel like that might mean where I need to start. Well, I'm glad, thankfully, so I would rather use Godot if I can, so if Godot can handle it, that'll be a very good thing. It's also the only thing I really have any experience with, even if that is only a tiny bit of of experience. I'm hoping to make it 3D, yes, which I'm not great at 3D or 2D, so no matter what I pick, it's going to be a struggle. But artwork is down the road, way down the road. You'll have very placeholder artwork for quite a while. That's here. For example, if you didn't want to build a engine or ship, you could purchase one. Or if you didn't want to handle the management of or extra ships in your fleet, you could hire a manager. I've heard of Magic of Voxel. I'll have to take a look into that. Oh, thank you, Digi. I'll definitely be. Part of the reason that I decided to start streaming is I could get feedback and help on a lot of things. So thank you. I do want to kind of try building a roadmap for getting a kind of a base tech demo as well, on top of writing down an idea. I'm kind of hoping to be streaming until Digital Iliad starts streaming, then Radium afterwards. I don't know. We'll see how long I keep on going today, being first stream and all, but I'll give it a shot. Sorry, that's it. Where am I? What am I writing down next? Planets and solar planets would be all procedurally. Let's go randomly generated. No one run will be like any other unless the same seed is specifically used, of course. Obviously. Decided not to be handling the game. The player will not do the purchase during night out. I feel like that kind of gets the base idea down almost. It does, but it doesn't. Like, let me. It's done. Yeah, the smallest components I'm thinking would kind of be like down to pipes and wires. It'd be kind of a mixture of that, having some like base components that just are the minimum. I'll just have certain types of circuit boards instead of a chips on the circuit board. You know, I'm not going to go that deep into it, but like you would almost make those different components that are in Space Engineers. You would make components in that would. This might be a good point to use. Oh, flashbang again. Sorry. I really need to set the dark mode to default somehow. I'm not sure how right now though. But this is something I'll have to kind of work out through testing, but the idea I was kind of having was where you would almost like sit down at a workbench and then define how large of a how large of a space you wanted to make your piece of the ship, your component, piece of a car, whatever. Like you would define a bounding box almost, which would then be a grid of voxels essentially. And then you would use like different wires, pipes, gears, circuit boards, anything. And within that grid, build a component of whatever said vehicle, which then that component could then be put onto a larger grid. The component with inputs and outputs, that is, be then put onto like another larger grid. Basically be kind of like a blueprint in Factorio. You would use whatever you made in a larger overall structure. I'm hoping I'm explaining this clearly enough. I feel like I'm not very well, but like this would be like this could be your let's just say an engine in your ship, which then could be put into the overall structure of the ship. You could have multiple of the engines. Let's say engine so then you wind up with okay, that was very rough. Engines. And then you could have more of them on top of your base. On top of the ship you're also working on a larger scale. Yes, absolutely, Arnio. That's the idea. It's kind of basically Space Engineers, but with more granularity. Absolutely. And totally up to you whether you even touch that part of the game. Yeah, I feel like I may design it with more in that in mind. It's like it's the kind of game that I like. But you could also absolutely go without touching any of it. If you like the fleet management side of things, I'll do that. Have that too. So I want there to be an economy. Like there could be wars going on and everything too, and your ship could be destroyed. A ship that you built from scratch could end up being destroyed. Or you could just completely avoid all that and whatnot. So I fully know for how ambitious this game is. It may never get off the ground, who knows? But I felt like actually streaming it would be the only way it might. Hey RJ, welcome on in. Do you mind? Wait, I usually just type RJ, but I'm not typing now. How do you prefer to be called? It's a little different being on this side of things. Yes, Arneo, that is one thing I've been thinking about, because I know I can't simulate each individual piece on this large of a scale. But I had the thought, is like if you're building smaller components of it, it would kind of save what it does. Like it would process what the components you put in the grid do, and then you put that, like basically put that component into a larger system, and then it would only save what it does. It wouldn't simulate each individual piece moving, if that makes sense. Okay, good. I'm glad I didn't. It's just weird being on this end. Wow, it's already been 45 minutes. Time actually kind of flies. Guess that means I'm having fun. What part do I write down next? Yeah, basically, Ariel. Yeah, you seem to be getting an idea. Yeah, it's kind of like, I guess another way of explaining it would be, if you're familiar with Factorio, you would be building your assembling machine essentially separately, and then you'd use that assembling machine and other things, and it wouldn't be simulating everything that's going on inside of the assembling machine. It just knows that you could put these things in one end and that will come out the other within a certain amount of time in a certain way, like that. Like it just knows, it'll process what goes in and what comes out, basically. So the only simulation of the individual tiny parts would be when you're making those individual components. Let me know if I need to increase font size or anything as well. It works well on my screen, obviously, but I don't know how well you guys can see any of this. Okay, let's see here. Let me try. Do I do that? Where would I increase the font size here? Here we go. How's that? Okay, good. Okay. I gotta figure out what part I'm writing down next. Got so many different parts of it swimming around in my head. Where do I continue? It's weird. I have so many different parts of it, but at the same time, not enough of it going on in my head. It's like I get focused on one part and keep on thinking the same part over and over and over. Oh, yeah, yes, basically, RJ, that's kind of the idea, but in the same, be kind of like space engineers in the sense where you're building the ship from scratch, but with even more granularity than space engineers. Like it can all go all the way down to the bare wires, essentially. You build a ship completely from scratch. It doesn't even have to be a spaceship. Like you'd be able to build a car that can only go on a planet, or building a space station, essentially. All that kind of thing. You'd have automation as well, so you could build production chains. So there'd be an economy, so you can build. You can go mining and either sell the raw materials or build a production chain like in Factorio and go all the way up to a finished product and sell that. Or you can fight in a war, that kind of thing. You can build a ton of ships and manage them all, kind of like you can in X4 Foundations. Become more of a fleet management game, like kind of up to you what part of the game you interact with and build up to. An extremely ambitious idea. Extremely ambitious. Sorry for all the dead space. Dead air, I mean. Oh, wrong button. Okay. Oh. I don't want that. Canvas. There we go. Rename. Path to tech. I feel like tech demo isn't quite the right word, but I can't think of anything better, so that's what I'm going to go with for the moment. So you're like demo. Yeah, I guess prototype. Yeah, prototype would be a bit better, I guess. That sounds better. Cause it's not anything that hasn't been done before. It's just they've all been done in separate, different games. And I kind of want to combine them into a form that I want to play. here. Low end view. Is that what I called it? Low level view. Low level view. There we go. Level view. Low level view, and I also would want the personal view. I feel like high level isn't necessarily required for the prototype. I guess you would need some sort of high level. I don't know. Might not be completely required, but we would need both of these. So let me low level view. Low level view consists of the bare hardware, bare mechanical components. Components and internals of the machines / vehicles. Almost out of water here. I have to go get more shortly. You would might was I'm imagining right now that you'll do most of the work on the low level view at like a workbench, though if possible it'd be nice if you wouldn't have to be like you could just walk up to a part of your ship, open up a panel, and start changing around wires. I don't know how possible that would be, though. It's something that would have to work out as I start actually making it. That's a future problem, though. So, building the size. Let's start building it. Building our component from there. The finished component could then be installed on the larger item. The size of the component would be determined from the amount of space it takes up when building it on the example, a 10, a 5 by 5. No, X. 5 by 5 area of a small grid on the workbench could equate to a 1 by 1 area of the larger grid. It's like there would be a smaller grid when you're making components versus the overall ship. That's totally up to you, Arneo. You didn't have to put my name in there at all. That's totally up to you. I'm probably gonna butcher the pronunciation of this. The Wolfenite Destroyer. That's. I don't see that as a silly name, honestly. That's kind of a cool name, and it sounds more unique. Like it's not it's not a cliche kind of thing. Not to anything I know, at least. So what's neat for a low level? Sick grid. Grid building. Oh, Wolfenite is a red gemstone. Okay. I gotta look this up now. Oh, cool. So you're going with a gemstone theme for your ships. That's cool. That does look cool. Definitely like the idea of having a theme for your ship names too. I guess I could just make this into a link for the link low level view. Here we go. What we're building. There's a view. System. Small building. Larger grid building. Although I'm not 100% completely sure if I want to have right sizes of grids, or if I just want to have the components being like basically blueprints. That's something I'll have to test. That's definitely something to be testing. If any of you ever have any recommendations for how I can better organize my notes or write things down, please let me know. I already feel like this isn't being written down very well. I feel like I need to at least get something written down. Yeah, need generator. Vehicle. Driving. Control. Wait, these arrows are going the complete wrong way. Okay, glad to hear I'm not doing it too badly then. These arrows. Yeah, that's kind of. I guess that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm just trying to write them down and I could split them up later into different things that I might need. I don't have a ton of experience just dumping things into a document. It's usually just stays in my head until I forget it or just nothing happens with it. Let's see here. And decide whether the high level will be needed for the prototype, if I want to try getting that in there or not. You know, the management of fleets of ships. Or vehicles even. I guess it doesn't need to be spaceships specifically. It can be managing vehicles on a planet. It just helps if I'm anxious just to write it down. Yeah, I just need to do that. Organize it later on. That's kind of what I'm trying to do. Just get that, it's like right now, the thought of what I need for the prototype down. So I at least have a bit of a game plan, so once I actually get to opening up Godot, I can start making the individual systems. Oh yeah, another part of it is I do want it to be, by the very nature of it, I want it to be mod friendly. The very nature of how I'll make it would be, I would basically be making the tools that you would make the mods with. So the way I'd make it is essentially kind of like how Factorio does it, make it in the same way a mod would be made. So tools was used to make the game. The very same tools to make the mods. Factorio. Okay, glad I'm not too off the track then of how to do it. Just dumping things into something and then organizing it later. Okay, see you later, Arnio. Glad you're having fun. Thank you for joining in. My first stream. I hope to be doing more of them. See you later. Okay. Basic small part building. Trying to figure out how to break these down more because this is still a little bit too big of a goal, you know, just a small grid building. I feel like I need more granularity than that. I've always struggled to figure out where to start, but I also know I'm not the only one with that, so that struggles with that. So a blank page is one of the worst things for me to have in front of me. Yeah, I know. It's just getting experience is very rough. Which is why I'm here streaming now. Just starting. Just trying to start. I'm gonna, since I'm did this with low level view, I'll do this with personal view as well. This is the view where the actual layer lives. This is where it's only controlling. Can't I spell today? Where all the normal open world and box stuff happens. As I continue to do more streaming, I do eventually want to get a camera and green screen and whatnot, kind of like how Digital really has his. I also kind of want to make a custom overlay in Godot, because I've seen other streamers use Godot to make a custom overlay. So I'm looking forward to that at some point too. That'll come as I do more streaming and get better at it and all that, which I do hope to do. I kind of want to have overlay showing the music that's playing and everything more happen. and just this. I'm not sure yet. I'm thinking I have Monday off of my day job this week, being Memorial Day, at least here in the States, obviously, and I'm not necessarily anything over there in the European side of things, but it's a day off for me at least, and I'm considering streaming Monday for a bit as well. We'll see how things go. Just since I have the extra time, I wanna stream at least once a week. I'm not sure how well things would go in the middle of the week. The at least once a week may be on Saturdays, like right around now. But I'm considering parts of in the middle of the week occasionally as well. But that'll come with seeing how things go. I don't want to go too much too fast, you know. Let's do this with the high level. Where all the fleet management happens. This is essentially. Yes, the high-level view could also be considered the RTS portion of it to real-time strategy. I'm not going to put much in there right now. I don't have a lot of the idea of the high-level section of it thought out yet. But that's kind of the weakest part of the idea right now. So we'll see if that even makes it in. It may be more of the low-level personal view side of things. It's kind of what I'm focusing on right now with my ideas. And I'm feeling stuck right now. What am I? Just about anything. Build our empire. Build yourself a mining empire. And units for their resources or buy resources and use them to make into products in your scratch build your build from scratch factory. I guess most of my ideas have been focused around the engineering low-level side of things than around anything with the high-level fleet management stuff. That's where most of my ideas have been coming for. So yeah, we'll see. The high-level fleet management side of things may end up getting cut. But we'll definitely be starting with the low-level side of things. Yeah. What's next? Sorry, I just spaced out for a second there. Almost forget that I am on stream for a second. I know I don't have enough written down for the ideas in my head, but at the same time, trying to think of what ideas I do in my head I still need to write down. Very weird feeling. Hoping to not to jump into Godot sooner than later, though, too. Also know I don't want to rush into jumping into Godot. It's starting to make stuff too quickly. Personal view can be, I think. There we go. Control character. Grid. You can build all production chains from raw resources versus all the way up to full scale scale flagships. I don't know. Let's see here. Let me check something real quick. Okay. Yes. Yeah, I'm getting stuck here now. Stuck, not sure what to do next. It's just like I've like grinded to a halt. I was going pretty good. I mean, I've got more written down than I have for anything else I've done before so far. I've got 3 views, sandbox, planets randomly generated, mod friendly, economy. What else is there? I guess there could be like governmental dynamics. Wars. To take part in maybe more of a company wars than governmental. A lot of it, we're getting more into where I haven't really thought a ton about, I guess, which is why I'm kind of grinding to a halt here. Not any idea explaining. Manage all your fleets, whether they be going to another system or city to trade, or whether they are going into a battle to fight. Most of them, high level view would place on some sort of map. Low level view. Bouncing around between everything, trying to write down what I can when it pops into my head, at least. At least trying to, not being very successful here. Large actions will be easy. Components which would be made in this low level view. And maybe assemble together more in the personal view. Personal view. Okay. Yeah. To the idea. Everything in the game would be made up of individual components. Everything can be made completely from scratch. And can also be torn down completely, leaving nothing left. Okay, everything made of components. Even computer or code could be made completely from scratch. PS3, and it'll probably be more of a voxel-based game. That's the only way I can really see it going very well at all. I mean, it'll be something I have to test. I can think of different ways of doing it, but it'll probably, like, it might not visually, it might not be voxels, but kind of like how Space Engineers is made up of a grid. It'll be grid-based like that. At least that's what I'm imagining is probably going to end up being. I feel like that'll be easier than having it freeform building. As it is, this is going to be a tough game to make. Scratch. Kind of want to make my own custom programming language too for in the game. If I need this even are as OS specifically in the game for your vehicle's computer. The inspiration I take from this is a newer game called Code Terraform. I was playing the other day, which is like brand new. I saw it on Reddit. Guys making it is only a demo right now, but he's Code Terraform. Yeah, it's not even out yet. It has a demo. It's literally just a code-based game. You have to code everything, even the individual sensors, to operate when you're terraforming a planet. It's kind of... I was playing this a little bit. Kind of gave me the thought to also have code be a big part of the game too. Also a part that you can totally ignore. But definitely would recommend checking that one out. But coding would programming would also be totally optional. Software for vehicles. Oops. Vehicles would be completely purchasable in purchasable in the economy as well. Prototype, I do want custom coding to be in here as well. Programming. Custom programming system. Programming. Yeah, that's good. Programming system. There we go. There we go. Let's see here. It's already been an hour and 45 minutes since it started. Wow. It really doesn't feel like it. System. Larger. Why am I blanking? Structures. Yes, that's the word I was looking for. Components, which would be made of even smaller individual parts. Components would be made at some sort of workbench, and the size of the components would be determined by how much space the smaller individual parts would take up when making it. The individual parts inside would not be constantly simulated. The inputs and outputs of the component would be determined when the component is being worked on. Then that's what would be used as the simulation. Oh, that doesn't make sense. And saved. It's like, and used to determine how the component interacts with the rest of the structure. Think assembler of the things in Factorio. Keep on typing way too quickly and then I mess up. Components are like the buildings with specific inputs and outputs. The Digital components are what's inside the buildings doing the building, I guess, doing whatever the component is needed for. There we go. Excuse me. Components. Oh, no. System. Let's see here. I might be getting close to wrapping up the stream here soon. My brain's starting to slow down. It's already been almost 2 hours, surprisingly. So I am kind of planning on keeping going until maybe Digital, if he starts his stream, and just popping in there to relax for a bit. Thank you, Diginaz. Glad it's gone alright for you. Yeah, I think I'm gonna be calling it here. I'm slowing down. I do hope to keep on doing more streams. Maybe next time I'll let you guys start inside of Godot. Actually start making something might help me get the ideas going a bit more too. And we'll see, I might get more of this written down off stream as well. Probably be a good idea. But thanks for joining, everyone. Glad to see you all here. Hope everything's gone well on your end. Hope everything goes well the rest of your day. Have a good night.